All right, happy Saturday, everyone. It's Francis here, as you know, and I just wanted to come in to give you some tips specifically about putting together your welcome packet. And I'm pretty sure you're all using a welcome packet or a tour packet with your clients and your prospective clients. But I want to challenge you for a moment. For those of you who haven't put a systematic, detailed approach in your thought process when you're putting together these packets. And so I want to just give you a framework that I use and show you some examples of those things. Now, none of you who are in the coaching program have gotten to the week that we're going to be talking about this yet. And so there's a week coming up, 2 weeks actually, where we're going to talk about the program success. I think some of you are now in the client success or the employee success, if you've gotten that far. But even further than that, we're going to be talking about the program success. And so you're going to see a lot of this again. I'm only going to give you a couple of points that came from that particular training. And so you're going to get a lot more ideas, and I will mention that again at the end of this video. But I just wanted to give you some nuggets now, in case you're not thinking about your process when it comes to creating these things. See, some of us think that it's just a matter of having the folder, having the packet available, just because it's a general thing that we do. However, I want to challenge you to put thought into every single thing that you do. Remember, our foundation is always going to be serving well. That is the approach that we give in everything that we do, because if that is your approach, you're going to offer something of value every single time. Not just something to say that you've done it, but something that's actually going to add value to the receiver of that thing. So let's talk about the prospective client workbook, not workbook, welcome packet, tour packet, or the new family welcome packet. Now, you may call it something totally different, that's fine, but you get the gist of what I mean. So basically, we're going to talk about what that prospective client receives from visiting your center, whether it be online or in person. And then we're going to talk about that new client that has bought into your program. They've registered, they've paid, they're now a new family, a new client. What are you going to gift that family or that parent, that child, upon enrollment? So I'm going to give you some ideas, and let's talk about the 5. Technically, it could be 4, but we're going to talk about the 5 things that you need to make sure you include into your packet. So the first thing is going to be something of education, something educational. Now, one of the things that I used to do is I would, of course, when you do your pre-work and finding out more about the child and more about the family, you will have this information readily available. It's not anything that you want to be asking the moment that you're touring with them. So in advance, and you may have gotten to the portion in our training, our success training, where we talk about what types of surveys, what types of questionnaires to use for your prospective client. These are things you want to collect before you actually build a relationship with them. You're actually in the process of building a relationship. And so ahead of time, you should already know the age of the child or the ages of the children that are coming, so that you'll know what type of educational material to put in there. Now, this is going to be extremely important for those of you who are operating a school or a program that is built on education. Now, not everybody does that. Now, of course, we all have an educational experience in our schools. That naturally happens when you are caring for children. But there are other programs and schools that focus on education as a primary thing, a primary goal. And so for those of you that do that, whether you do or not, you definitely want to make sure you include something that is based on education in that prospective welcome packet, or that prospective tour packet rather, and in your new family welcome packet. So let's talk about some things you can add in for education. I'll show you something that I might have used in mine. Let me see, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. So this is actually something that I created for my program. Let's see if you can see it. And you're going to get a copy of this when you get to that week. Excuse me, on my screen. Now, I actually created this. Now, we talk a lot about the importance of branding everything, okay? So this is me having a conversation, with my parents. What is my child learning at BBA? Every single person that came in to tour with us received this poster. It's kind of thick. It's like a poster flyer that once I created it, I uploaded it to Vistaprint and had them printed out and send me them. So I would get them in batches of 100. So right here, what I'm doing, just so you know, is I'm talking to them about areas of development. I know it's hard to see. Then I'm giving them examples of how we approach those areas. And then I'm telling them what it's necessary for. Now, this is something that was important to me because I needed them to understand that we are developing a love for learning. I'm educating my parents by utilizing this resource that, again, we created for our program. And so I recommend that you do that specifically for sometimes when you create your resources, they mean a lot more. You put more of you into it. And so this was my educational piece that I would give. Every single packet got this, whether they were prospective or a new family. And these were also in our welcome area, available for anybody that came through if they wanted to take a copy of it. Something else educational, and these, again, when you get to this week in the training, I am going to overload you with ideas. These are just one or two ideas that I'm giving you because I'm just excited about you getting this information. So something else that I will put in was a try card, track your child's development milestones. Now this came directly from the CDC. Now, as you know, you can go to the CDC's website and print off a lot of, information that may or may not be useful to you. Now, I ordered these through their website and I have tons of them. And so it's just like a try card that you can unfold. And it has like a little map in there, which again is educational because it's letting the parents know about the early development stages. And so this will give them a little bit of education too on what to expect. Now, it also gives information on what to do if you have concerns about that. If a parent looks at it and they're thinking, oh, wait a minute, my child's not doing that. They can either come to you as their expert, or they can look on the back of this card here. There's a phone number where they can get additional information on how to support their child. So those are just two examples of an educational resource you can put in there. Now, another resource that you need to put in there is, this may or may not be considered a resource, but something else that needs to be in your packet is anything that's obligatory. So for instance, if you give them a paper application, say it's a tour, that would need to go in there. That's an obligation that you would need to extend to them because it's something they would have to have in order to register with you. So anything you can think of that is an obligation would go into that packet. Now, with my center, we switched to online for everything. Everything became automated toward the end until I retired because it was just so much easier for me. And so if you're not yet doing that, or if you don't care to do that, maybe you want to be able to give papers. So it's just your preference. But for us, we switched over to an automated system for all of these types of forms that we wanted them to do online. And so I'll give you another example. If you're part of the food program, if you participate in that, USDA, CACFP, they have forms that are necessary in order to be a part of their program. They regulate those things. And so I spoke to my liaison or my representative at the time with that program. And I asked her, am I allowed to upload these documents so that my parents can fill them out online so that we can automate these forms? And she said, absolutely, as long as it does not change the form, which it did not. And so as you already know, most of you already know, I use JotForm for that. I've spoken to a few of you and you use a different type of service, or you're not currently using anything at all, or you're testing out JotForms as a result of me mentioning it to you. So I use JotForms because I can upload any form and set it up so that the parents can fill it out right from their device. And when I print it out, it will be printed on the original form that that agency is going to be looking for. The only difference is it won't be handwritten. It'll be filled out electronically. And so parts of it I leave blank. The parent does not even see it, like the portion that the center is supposed to fill out. So that part is blank. They don't even see that. So when I print the form out, it still requires us to fill in a certain portion of it. So those are, or that is a type of obligatory form that you could add into your packet. Again, we have done all automation when it comes to that. Everything's online. So just think about what you give away that must be filled out and returned back. All right, moving along. The next thing you want to make sure you add in is something that is useful or something that's usable. And I'll give you an example. So with our welcome packets, this family has joined, they received a welcome bag. And inside the welcome bag were not only the items that I've already gone over with you as far as things you want to make sure you add in, but they also received a mug. We gave a mug with the logo on it. Really similar to the mugs that you receive, those of you in the coaching program, but of course it was labeled with a different logo. But for our clients at the school, at the center, it had our center's logo and information on it. So that's something that will be usable. And it's also a marketing tool that, you know, you're not paying for, because they're advertising you in their home. And I'm sure they have plenty of visitors that come in and out. Another thing that you can do is give away a shirt, you know, and of course you would have to have their size in advance. Now, I didn't give away shirts in my welcome bag. I did give away shirts in my ambassador program gift boxes. So that's a little different, but in your welcome packet, something that's usable could be, like I mentioned, it could be a mug. Obviously, you're going to give pens away. Most of you probably do that. Now, this one has my center's logo and address, phone number, and website on it, and our tag name. Our tag was Building Brighter Futures. And so all of that was on here, and everyone got that, whether you were visiting or you were a new member. So those are things that are usable that are also going to be marketing tools for you. Again, those are just two. There are many, many other ideas that we use. And, you know, I'm going to give you just one more, something that's usable, because this is something that we gave away during different times of my program. So, and I'm sure that you've seen this before. It's just a standard little first aid kit, a basic kit that you can carry around in your purse, very small. Now, this, of course, if you are familiar with it, came from the dollar store. And it comes with just like basic tools in it. Of course, bandages, gauze, alcohol prep pads. And that's pretty much it, just random assortment of bandages. Now, what we did with this was to remove the label. So we took the label off. And once you do that, of course, it just looks like this. And we put our logo on the front of it. And so same things were inside of it. Of course, you can add a couple of things if you want. If you have those little sanitizing pads that you can order from like a medical center, and I'll show that to you. So if you have little hand sanitizer packs like this that you can throw in there, you can certainly do that. But what I'm explaining is that once you're done, put your sticker logo on top of it and throw that into your welcome packet. Now you can decide whether or not you think it's valuable to put this in a welcome packet over the tour packet, because we did not give these out for our tours. We gave them out for our new members. Now, the other time that I would give these away is around October and November, because November, I believe, is the season where the flu is supposed to begin to spike or start. And so I did some research on that prior to doing it, but we gave away a whole packet, which we call the flu and cold care kit is what we called it. And so it was filled with all types of things, including something like this, but we would brand them with our name on it for many of the products that we gave away. So anyway, that's something else that you could give away that would be useful. Now, what's another thing that you would need to add in? So a cash equivalent gift. And I'll give you an example. So one of the things that we did, we partnered with a local business in my area called Nomad Deli. And so I went to Nomad's. He actually was also catering our lunches. And so we went into, I actually called him one day and I said, well, do you have gift cards? You know, what do you have there that we could possibly purchase and give away? And sure enough, he had gift cards. These value at $10. And at the time, I believe I purchased $200 worth at the time of them. And they come with his own little postcard. They have a special stamp on it that, you know, no one else would have. And so he would know if someone was pretending to have a card or if they actually had an actual authorized card. And so we would put these into our new family welcome packets. I did not put these in the tour packets. They went into our new family welcome packets. So this was equivalent to cash. Something else that was equivalent to cash that I put into the packet. Now this one I put in our tour packet as well as our new family packet. And some of you have already seen this in other trainings that I've done. And it's also going to be in your program success week when you get to that in your training program. I'll have a actual Word document with this if you want to download it and, you know, shift it around and put your logo and stuff on it. But it looks like a $50 bill. Now imagine this sticking out of the folder. It would immediately draw attention to the eye, right? That's why I decided to use this type of template for my referral bonus, which is what this is. And so if you're touring, you get this in your folder and you become informed right away that if you refer another family and, you know, they've met the obligations that come along with offering something like this, then they were going to receive $50. Now it came with instructions. I set this format up or this template up so that I could put information in that I wanted to gather in order to be able to gift that person who referred that family. And so I'll put the template. Well, the template for this is already in the course. So once you get to that week, you'll be able to see this and download it. So again, this is equivalent to cash because that's what you're going to receive if you refer. All right. Now let's talk about the gift. Now, every packet, whether it was a tour packet or a new family packet, received a gift. Here's an example of some of those things. And I've mentioned some things already that you might consider gifts, but you know, you can if you like. But here's an example of things that I would collect. This is a road sign bingo game. Now, if you are familiar with this, you know that it came also from the dollar store. Now it's two-sided. It's a two-sided game. And so one side you're looking for street signs, and I can't really see. Actually, I think it's the same. The road signs are just different. So if you're playing with someone else, they have a different board than you do. And so this is a gift for, say, a school ager. I think a preschooler could even do this. And it's, you know, you're doing a couple of things. This could also be considered a gift for the parent, right? When you're traveling in the car with them, you hand this over to them as an activity to do while you're driving, especially if you have little ones that are often bumping heads with each other and just arguing. This would be a great thing to add to your packet for your parents, because like I said, it will be a gift for them as well in some cases. Now, originally when I purchased these, I bought them for my girls, and they have different types of bingo games that I've seen at the dollar store. This was just one of them. So that's a gift. Obviously, I'm sure you know about other gifts you can put in when you know who the family is that's coming, what the ages of the children are. You can throw in things like books. Something else I want to show you really quickly, and we're almost at the end of this, okay? I did not expect it to be this long, so hopefully it's adding value to you. And I would appreciate it if you would let me know if it's adding value to you. That will let me know that I need to do more videos, number one, and also add in more information that's going to be useful to you in your business. Now, the things that I'm sharing with you are things that were made a wonder of a difference, a world of a difference to me. And of course, after tours, after we've given away our welcome gift bags, we do surveys. And so I'm never out of the loop of what my parents are thinking, about what my prospective parents are thinking, because we send the surveys, which are also attached to something of value to ensure that they do it. So anyway, a gift again. Now, this could also be considered something educational too. So if you can see this, this is from USDA. This is actually a packet. I haven't opened this. It's sealed. And it's about maybe 50 of these sheets. They're all the same. It's move, play, and have fun. So it's just a little, I would say calendar. You could call it a calendar where it gives different ideas on how to move, the best ways to get your blood flowing, to get that energy out. Is useful for parents because sometimes they can't come up with things to do. And here's a little, letter that gives lots of ideas. And I didn't pay anything for this. I ordered it from USDA and they sent it to me. It also has some poems and rhymes on the back, sing and dance. And so these things are great because it's going to give you a chance to bring a bonding moment between, or to create a bonding moment between your new student or your prospective new student and their parents. Okay. Now, how can I make sure that they're doing this or that it's adding value to them? One of the things that you can do is tie this to gamification. Now, you may have gotten to the point where we're talking about gamification. If you're not familiar with that, you really need to stay tuned. And if you're not in the actual 3-month coaching program, you need to get in there ASAP. So gamification is going to be extremely critical for you to use in your program as one of your loyalty programs, okay? And it has a way to bring families together, which is going to make who the expert? You. Okay, so these were just some tips, y'all. I have a lot more. There's some things I'm looking at right now I would love to bring onto the video to show you, but most of that is going to be in your training program. So you'll get to it as soon as you get to that week. I don't believe anybody's up to that week yet. So again, that's going to be the week we're going to be talking about all about program success, which is going to be packed with a lot of stuff. We only hit on the welcome and tour packet. It's going to be packed with some additional things. And so I hope this was helpful for you. If you did get some value out of it, like I said, go ahead and leave some comments below. If you have some questions about what I said or what I gave you today, or what I shared with you today, be sure to leave those comments as well so that I can follow up with you. Now, I'm going to tell you those 5 things again. Look at your tour and welcome packets. And I want you to be able to pick out what is educational, what is obligatory, what is useful or usable, what is cash equivalent, and what is a gift. Make sure you're including all of those things. And in all that you do today, remember, serve well.